Nobody budgets for an engine replacement. Nobody plans to spend $4,000 at the shop because of an oil decision that cost $4 to make differently. But it happens every day across America. To careful drivers, regular oil changers, people who did everything right except this one thing. The wrong oil grade doesn't announce itself. It doesn't trigger warning lights. It just quietly collects a wear tax on your engine every single mile until the bill finally arrives. Today we show you the data. Today you find out which oil actually protects your engine long term, and which one has been slowly cashing that check. The regulatory betrayal. Before we get to the test results, you need to understand one thing. Because once you hear this, everything else makes sense. Your owner's manual oil recommendation was not written to protect your engine. It was written to satisfy a government compliance document. And those are two very different things. Here's how it works. Federal law requires every automaker to hit specific miles per gallon targets. Miss those targets and the fines are massive. So manufacturers found a shortcut. Thinner oil reduces internal friction. Less friction means better fuel economy on a government test. That's the compliance spec. The number printed in your manual wasn't chosen because it protects your engine best. It was chosen because it cleared a regulatory threshold. Here's the proof. Take any major Japanese automaker. Pull the manual for their US market vehicle. Then pull the manual for the exact same engine sold in Australia or the Middle East. Same displacement, same internals. The US version says 0W20. The overseas version says 5W30 or 5W40. Same engine, different priorities. And in those markets, the priority is longevity, not compliance. That tells you everything. What the numbers actually mean. Most drivers see 0W20 or 5W30 on a bottle and assume the higher number means better protection. That's not quite right. And misunderstanding this is exactly how the wrong oil ends up in the wrong engine. Here's what those numbers actually tell you. The first number, the one before the W, describes how the oil flows in cold temperatures. W stands for winter. 0W flows faster at startup than 5W. That matters for the first few seconds after a cold start, when most engine wear actually occurs. Lower is better here. The second number is where longevity lives. That number describes viscosity at full operating temperature, how thick the oil film stays when your engine is hot and working hard. 20 means thinner at heat. 30 means stronger. 40 means stronger still. So 0W20 gives you excellent cold start flow, but a thinner film once the engine is up to temperature. 5W30 gives you nearly the same cold start performance, but 50% more film strength when it counts most. Under load. In summer heat. On long highway runs. This is the stability zone. The range where oil maintains enough film thickness to keep metal off metal, even when temperatures climb and driving gets demanding. 0W20 sits below that zone under real-world conditions. 5W30 sits inside it. That single difference is what the test data is about to confirm. The silent damage profile. Now we get into the data. And this is where 0W20 starts showing its true cost. In back-to-back engine tests using identical vehicles, identical driving cycles, and identical 7,500-mile change intervals, 0W20 was first up. On paper, it looked strong. Cold starts were excellent. Internal friction was lowest of the three oils tested. Fuel economy came in about 0.7 of a mile per gallon, better than the thicker alternatives. But inside the engine, the story changed completely. Average oil temperatures ran 8 to 12 degrees hotter than the other grades. By 7,500 miles, viscosity had dropped 13%. That means the oil you put in at full strength was already thinning out well before the change interval was up. Where metals, the microscopic iron and aluminum particles that tell you how hard your engine is working, came in measurably higher than both alternatives. Internal inspection revealed something else. Light varnish forming in the valve train, early oil darkening, and a noticeably thinner residual film left on components after shutdown, meaning less protection sitting between metal surfaces during the next cold start. This is the silent wear tax. No warning lights, no strange noises, just accelerated wear building quietly in the background. Every single mile, every single change interval, year after year. 0W20 doesn't destroy engines overnight. It shortens their lives slowly. And by the time the damage shows up, it's already done. The middle ground advantage. Same engine, same driving cycle, same interval. We switched to 5W30, and the difference showed up immediately. Oil temperatures dropped 6 to 9 degrees compared to 0W20. Not a dramatic number on its own, but inside an engine running thousands of RPM through summer heat and stop-and-go traffic, that margin matters enormously over time. Viscosity loss came in under 5% at 7,500 miles. Compare that to the 13% breakdown we saw with 0W20. The oil was still doing its job at the end of the interval, not running thin and hoping for the best. Wear metals dropped 35 to 40%. That's not opinion, that's lab analysis. Less iron, less aluminum, less microscopic damage accumulating in your engine with every passing mile. Internal inspection confirmed it. Bearings looked cleaner. Cam lobes retained a stronger oil film. Varnish was noticeably reduced. The engine looked like an engine that was being protected, not one that was quietly paying the silent wear tax. And the fuel economy penalty? 0.3 of a mile per gallon compared to 0W20. Pennies per tank. That's the trade you're making. A fraction of a cent per mile in fuel cost, in exchange for dramatically lower wear, cleaner internals, and an engine that has a real shot at going the distance. This is the stability zone in action. 5W30 doesn't chase thin, it chases protection, and the numbers back it up every single time. The heavyweight trade-off. Now we get to the oil most people assume is the ultimate answer. 5W40, thicker, stronger on paper, and in certain conditions, absolutely outstanding. Oil temperatures dropped another 3 to 5 degrees compared to 5W30. Viscosity loss was almost non-existent, under 2% at 7,500 miles. Wear metals were extremely low, especially iron and copper. Under sustained load, long highway pulls, steep grades, high RPM operation, 5W40 was rock solid. So why isn't it the winner? Because protection isn't just about thickness, it's about flow. And this is where 5W40 starts working against the average American driver. We observed slower oil circulation during cold starts, increased pumping resistance during short trip driving, marginally higher fuel dilution retention in engines used mostly for quick daily commutes and light throttle. In those conditions, the extra viscosity didn't add protection. It added drag. This is the specialist trap. 5W40 is engineered for engines under serious stress, towing, tracking, extreme heat, turbocharged applications running hard. Drop it into a daily driver doing 10-mile commutes in moderate temperatures, and you're paying for capability you're never accessing. The data made it clear. 5W40 is exceptional when conditions demand it. But for the majority of American drivers, it's overkill, and overkill has its own costs. Side-by-side destruction. Report 3 oils, same engine, same miles. Here's exactly how they stacked up. 0W20 delivered the best fuel economy, 0.7 of a mile per gallon advantage. But it also produced the highest wear metals, the fastest viscosity breakdown, the hottest average oil temperatures, and the earliest signs of internal varnish. It worked. It just worked harder than it should have, and left the engine with less protection than it deserved. 5W40 delivered outstanding stability under load, almost zero viscosity loss, excellent wear control in demanding conditions. But it added cold start drag, increased pumping resistance in light-duty use, and delivered capability that most daily drivers simply never need. 5W30 landed in the middle and dominated both categories that matter most for long-term engine life. Near optimal oil temperatures, viscosity loss under 5%, wear metals down 35 to 40% versus 0W20. Cleaner internals, stronger film strength through the full change interval. A fuel economy penalty so small it disappears in real-world driving. One oil gamed the fuel economy test. One oil was built for extreme duty. One oil just protected the engine. Quietly, consistently, mile after mile. The results weren't close, and they weren't what most people expected walking in. The mechanic confession. Here's where it gets personal. We sat down with veteran technicians, dealership mechanics, independent shop owners, master techs with 20 and 30 years turning wrenches on the exact engines we're talking about. Toyota, Honda, Subaru, Nissan. We asked them one question off the record. What oil do you actually run in your own car? Not one of them said whatever the manual says. One master tech at a Toyota dealership put it this way: we install 0W20 in customer cars because that's what the invoice says. But my personal Camry has run 5W30 since 60,000 miles. The difference in how clean the engine stays is not even a debate. A Honda specialist with over 2 decades of experience told us he made the switch after pulling apart high-mileage engines side by side. The 0W20 motors had varnish. They had wear patterns I shouldn't be seeing at that mileage. The 5W30 motors looked 10 years younger inside. An independent shop owner who has rebuilt hundreds of engines said this: the manufacturers know 5W30 protects better. They validated these engines on 5W30 before the fuel economy mandates changed the spec. They didn't redesign the engine. They just changed the number in the manual. This is the part the dealership service counter will never tell you. The people who know these engines best, the ones who see what happens inside them at 150,000 miles, are not running the compliance spec in their own vehicles. Now you know why. And if you want a product recommendation for a high-quality 5W30 full synthetic that our team has used and tested, the link is in the description. It meets and exceeds every API and ILSAC specification your engine requires. The Oil Decision Framework. So what does this mean for your car right now? Here's the practical breakdown. No hype, no filler. If you drive mostly short trips, live in a cold northern climate, change your oil every 5,000 miles or less, and plan to sell the car before it hits 100,000 miles, 0W20 will likely serve you fine. It's doing what it was designed to do, and your engine may never show the difference. But if you fall into any of these categories, pay attention. You live in a warm or hot climate. Texas, Arizona, Florida, California, the Southeast. Your engine sees real summer heat on a regular basis. The silent wear tax is collecting on 0W20 right now. You have over 60,000 miles on the clock. Engine tolerances widen as components wear. The thin film that worked at 30,000 miles is no longer giving you the same protection at 80,000. You drive long distances. Highway miles at sustained speeds in warm temperatures are exactly the conditions where film strength matters most. You plan to keep the car long-term. If 400,000 miles is the goal, the stability zone is where you need to be. Switching to a quality full synthetic 5W30 that meets your manufacturer's API specification is not voiding your warranty. Federal law under the Magnuson-Moss Warranty Act protects you as long as the oil meets or exceeds the required specification. You are not breaking rules. You are making a decision based on data instead of a compliance document. The link in the description has what we recommend. High temperature stability, strong anti-wear additive package, fully certified. And it costs the same as what you're probably already buying. Here's the bottom line. Your engine doesn't care about government fuel economy tests. It doesn't care about CAFE targets or EPA certification cycles. It cares about one thing: oil film strength between moving metal parts, every single mile, for as long as you own it. The data showed us exactly what happens when that film strength is compromised. Faster viscosity breakdown, higher wear metals, varnish building in places you'll never see until the damage is already done, and a repair bill that arrives years later with no obvious cause, because the cause happened slowly, invisibly, one oil change at a time. 0W20 works, but it works harder than it should, and it leaves your engine with less margin than it deserves. 5W30 protected better, ran cleaner, lasted longer, and cost you almost nothing in fuel economy to make the switch. The mechanics know it. The overseas owner's manuals confirm it. The test data proves it. Now you know it too. If you want to start protecting your engine the right way, the link in the description takes you directly to the 5W30 full synthetic our team recommends. It meets every specification. It costs the same as what's on the shelf at your parts store right now. And it's the same oil the mechanics in this video run in their own cars. Drop a comment below telling us what oil you've been running and whether you're making the switch. And if this video changed how you think about your engine, hit subscribe, because we're just getting started.